Once long ago, a weary traveler came to a small village. His shoes were dusty, his cloak was torn, and his tummy rumbled loudly. He knocked on the first door. "Good evening," he said softly. "Could you spare a little food for hungry traveler?" The woman peeked out. She shook her head. "I'm sorry. I can barely feed my children." The traveler bowed politely and went on. At the next house, he asked again. "I'm sorry," said the man. "There's nothing left in my kitchen." House after house, the answer was always the same. Everyone kept their doors closed tight. The traveler's belly growled even louder. But instead of frowning, he smiled. "I'll make soup," he said cheerfully. "Soup from a stone." He found the village square, placed his little tin pot in the ground, filled it with water, and lit a small fire. Then he dropped in a smooth, round stone. Plunk. Soon the water began to bubble and hiss. A villager passing by wrinkled his nose. "What on earth are you cooking?" he asked. "Stone soup," the traveler said. "It tastes wonderful. Would you like to join me?" "Stone soup." "Soup from a stone?" The man laughed. "Of course. But carrots would make it sweeter." He ran home and returned with a bunch of bright orange carrots. Another villager came by carrying her basket. "What's that smell?" she asked. "Stone soup," the traveler replied. "Oh, stone soup is very tasty," she said. "But only with potatoes." And she dropped 2 big potatoes into the pot. A curious boy peeked around the corner. "Can children eat stone soup?" he asked shyly. "Why, yes," said the traveler. "It's even better with onions." The boy dashed home and came back with his mother, and they carried a handful of onions and some wooden bowls. Little by little, the square filled with people. One woman brought mushrooms. A farmer carried squash from his cart. An old man sprinkled salt and pepper. Even the shy baker brought a loaf of bread to share. The pot bubbled merrily, steam rising into the air. The villagers leaned close, their mouths watering. At last, the traveler lifted the stone out of the pot. "The stone has done its work," he said. "The soup is ready." Everyone sat together under the stars. They passed bowls, shared spoons, and tasted the most delicious soup they had ever eaten. The villagers laughed and talked, telling stories, singing songs, and forgetting that only an hour ago they all felt poor and alone. From that night on, the villagers remembered the traveler's gift. They learned that when each person shares a little, there is always more than enough for everyone. And the traveler? He smiled, tucked the smooth stone back in his bag, and went on his way. Knowing he had left behind more than a full belly, he had left behind a village full of friends,